candlesticks are on the door that actually head up to the attic of the church. And so we want to simply grab one of these. And they do have oil on the inside, so we want to make sure that we don't tip it upside down, so always keep it upright. And there's always going to be a lighter in the sacristy, so we're going to light it. Okay, and as we have it lit, when we actually move with it, as a general rule of thumb, we want to hold it right here, not down far, but we want to hold it close to the flame and put our other hand in front of it for the wind. And so we're going to go out and light some candles right now. All right, as we are about ready to light the candles, as a general rule, we want to just bow one time. More bows doesn't make it more reverent, and so it's not the amount of reverencing that we do, but we just simply, again, want to be reverent. And again, as I mentioned, we hold it right up here. Our hand goes in front. We want to walk very, very slowly with the candle. Two reasons. One, to show reverence, and then two, to make sure the candle doesn't burn out. And we come to the rail here and just do a small bow. We don't want to bow with our head into the flame. Top two rules with acolyting is we don't start the church on fire, we don't start our hair on fire. As a way of thinking this through, what we want to understand is at the beginning of the service, we want to think of light coming in towards the church, and then at the very end of the service, the light going away from the church. And so, as a general rule, we start with the altar candles. Now, we do not light the altar candles when there is not communion, only when there's communion. The two ways of knowing whether or not we have communion is, number one, you will see communion set up on the altar, and number two, if the pastor is wearing a chasuble, that indicates that there's communion. So two ways of knowing there's communion is if there's a chasuble and if the elements are set up front. So we light the altar candles first, starting with the right side. After the altar candles are lit, then we proceed to the right side, and again, light coming in. So we start at the very top and we work our way down. Then we move to the left side and we work our way down. And then, before we proceed anywhere, we want to blow out the candle right away. And we come to the very center here, and we bow before we leave. All right, following the very end of the service, during the closing hymn, we want to extinguish the candles. And again, you retrieve your candlestick, and obviously you can light from this side and extinguish from this side. Again, we want to keep in mind that there's oil in here, so we don't want to have this end pointing downward. There's a small hole on the top, and we don't want that oil leaking out. So we come on in, and obviously as we enter, anytime that we approach the altar or leave the altar, we always want to bow. We don't necessarily have to bow when we go left or right, but when we approach or leave the altar, we want to reverence. And so again, we want a small reverence here, and we come on in. Now, as we mentioned before, at the very beginning, light is coming in, but at the very end of the service, we want to think of light leaving. And so as we started the very beginning of the service with the right side, then proceeding left, we want to reverse that and go from left to right. So we'll proceed to this side and extinguish from the bottom up, light leaving, starting with the left-hand side. Now, as a general rule too, we don't want to press down too hard on these, because if we press down too hard on the candlesticks, the wick will actually get pushed down in there. And so we want to very, very gently press down on this, letting the extinguisher do the majority of the work by eliminating any oxygen from the candle to extinguish that way. Now, we've gone from the bottom up. Now, we don't hit the altar until the very end. So we're going to hit this side next, going from the bottom up. Okay? And then we go up to the top, and then again we want to go left to right as we extinguish. And as we leave and depart, a simple reverence and a bow here before we leave. And that is it.